and welcome to Oh What a Marvel. This is the show on the Merc with the Movie Blog YouTube channel where we're talking about the latest Marvel Studios releases. This week we're talking about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, directed by Sam Raimi, written by Michael Waldron. Came out May 6th, which was last week. I am one of your hosts, Sean, and I'm joined pretty much as always by Dean. Hello, Dean. I'm going to throw to you first.
Hey.
How's it going, dude?
Hey.
Yeah,
it's about to get strange up in here.
It is about to get strange. And joined occasionally, but just as excitingly, by Sarah. Hello, Sarah.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm back.
You're back.
I'm good.
What was the last show you did? Oh, What a Marvel for? Was it Loki? Were you on Loki?
Yeah. Loki, and then we did the Black Widow thing.
Yes.
Together. I think that was the last thing.
I think that was just you and I.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I was on that.
Yeah.
We just gushed about
Black Widow.
Florence Pugh for like
yes.
30
So you both liked Black Widow, just to be clear.
I really love Black Widow.
Black Widow is very high for me.
It's not like at the top of my list, but like I thought, like I put Black Widow in the same area as like Doctor Strange, the first one, and like Ant-Man and Captain Marvel.
No,
I think they're all very serviceable solo films for me, but they're not like Captain America, the Winter Soldier, or like the first Iron Man or something.
Black Widow
like
is number 9 on my list.
I don't know about overall, but Black Widow is definitely the bottom of Phase 4 thus far for me.
Solely just because I like Yelena. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay. So anyway, let's talk about Doctor Strange because I want to start off. We're gonna go full into spoilers, but I want to start off just by getting everybody's initial thoughts on what they think of the movie, like how they feel about it, and then we'll talk about like spoilers. I don't have like a ton of notes prepared, so I don't know if this will be a very structured discussion, but I figure we'll hit like the big things. I think there's certain stuff that everybody's talking about when it comes to this movie. Yeah, well, I'll just off the top of my head try to recap the whole movie.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure we'll find something to talk about. Let's start with you, Dean, because I get the feeling from what I saw of your reaction online that you're probably the highest on this movie.
Yes, I've seen it twice. Okay. I've inhaled it twice, so I am the highest on this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay. No, I love this movie. I think it's great. I thought the reviews were going to be great. I was quite surprised that I thought it's going to be like universally loved, and I have some theories as to why it's not. And I don't think it's so much to do with the show, with the movie itself. I don't know. I think there's some people who are in like the WandaVision kind of camp where it's like that kind of affected negatively or positively their impression, depending on whether they did or didn't see it. So we'll talk a bit more about that later. But yeah, I thought that the pacing was great. We shot through this. Like I thought the plot was like well laid out, and it was much simpler than it could have been. In that, I mean that in a good way. And the score was great. Yeah, there's not a lot to not like.
Sarah.
I really liked it. I only seen it once. I definitely need to see it again because there's a lot happening. I agree with Dean. I saw a lot of the reviews that came out before I went and saw it. Just didn't watch any reviews, but just saw the people's general reactions to it. And I went in thinking like, this is going to be a Last Jedi. You're either going to like it or you're going to hate it. And I saw what you said about like people's expectations going into this.
Yeah.
And I really think like this movie was not what I was expecting at all, but I really liked it. And like you said, the story is very simple. And I think that's not what people are expecting. And it did kind of feel like an adventure, like follow this person, this MacGuffin, blah, blah, blah. Like, and I like those kind of stories. So I really liked it. And I love what they did with Wanda. And I think that's why I really like this movie. So, yeah.
So I had a really fun time watching this in the theaters. I really, really liked what I saw. I think since then, I've only seen it once. I really want to see it again. I think this is the only Marvel movie where the more I've thought about it, the more I have not liked it. I really don't like this movie.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like this movie. It's pretty low at the bottom of my. I think that it's pretty low. I right now will break out my ranking, or if I can. I already lost it.
Oh man,
but
you know it's rough when he gets the ranking out this early on in the proceedings.
Mine
really
is
number 33.
Mine is I have it at number 27 right now.
Wow.
It is at the very bottom of I still liked the movie. Like, or at least I enjoyed the movie. Everything
what's
below
above it
is,
and what's under it?
It's okay. So I think
directly.
so I think the second time I'm going to see it, I'm going to see it again this weekend. I think it's going to go up. I don't think it's going to go any further down. But right now it's directly below Age of Ultron and directly above Iron Man 3. And that's kind of the line of like, I still enjoy this movie while I watch it. Right. I think the things that really work about this movie is Sam Raimi. I think Sam Raimi's direction is incredible. I think that everything he does in this movie really works. I think Elizabeth Olsen is incredible in this movie, and I really like what they did with the Scarlet Witch. I think Michael Waldron was hired very late to just put a movie out. I think the script is really bad. I think that he did Loki. They were really happy with what he did, and this was a company job for him. That he kind of came in. He had to, and I give this movie a lot of leeway because I mean we all know this had a very, very troubled development between Scott Derrickson leaving, and it was supposed to come out before No Way Home, and now it eventually had to be after. And there's a lot of stuff there that this movie makes a lot more sense if you do it before No Way Home, in my opinion. But I think Michael Waldron just kind of had to do this to keep his good relationship with Disney, and he's doing Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie now. So like,
really,
he's writing that. So like, it sounds like it worked. It sounded like it was worth it for him to keep this relationship good. I think this movie is visually a feast to watch. I think everybody's performance is really good. I think like for me, none of it stands up. Like once I start to think about it, it's something I was talking to Dean about in Moon Knight is they kept making choices that I didn't like, but then they executed them really well in the finale. And I think this movie made a lot of choices that I didn't like and then did not execute them well. Except for Wanda.
Yeah. Interesting.
So that's my hot take.
Interesting.
That I've been waiting so long. I didn't want to spoil the surprise. I don't. And
I didn't realize this was going to be an unboxing video.
Yeah, this is
we need to unpack.
Yeah. Woo. Okay. Let's start with Wanda. We're gonna get into full spoilers now because Wanda is kind of the thing that everybody's talking about, right? Everybody's talking about Wanda and the Illuminati, and I think Wanda's the bigger thing because Wanda is actually a part of this movie, unlike the Illuminati. I think that Wanda's arc in this movie, where she starts, because everybody's like, should she have been a bad guy? Like, should she have been so clearly a bad guy? I think it makes sense. I think as a fan of the comics, this is clearly how I've always seen Wanda Maximoff. Mm-hmm. I do think it goes for a far leap. That is a struggle for the audience to grab onto. I think between the ending of WandaVision, where she has done terrible things, and at the end of the day does do a good thing and does free these people and does say that my trauma isn't worth these people's pain. Mm-hmm. That was just a very loud noise. It's still going. Hold on. Okay, it's done. It's like my trauma isn't worth these people pain. And then we get the post-credit scene, obviously, where the Darkhold is starting to corrupt her. But I think it's a really far jump from that to I'm hunting down this teenage girl and I'm going to kill her. I think there is something there that connects it, that makes sense, and I can follow A to Z because I know Wanda Maximoff and I know that this is shit that she would do. Like, this is very clearly the kind of thing that Wanda Maximoff would do in the comics. But I feel like we should have seen that and not been told it. I feel like it for an audience that maybe isn't as familiar with Wanda's character, I think that jump is a much steeper one.
Yeah.
So
maybe see her like go into the darkness and the evil, the Darkhold a little bit more than just now she's evil. Like
now she's like wanting to kill a teenage girl.
Because they put a line in there with like, oh, it's the Darkhold, it's not her, it's the Scarlet Witch is taking over.
They say
but
that
I think
in this
a lot
movie,
of people
though.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people miss that because people are like, it makes no sense. But I'm like, they literally say it, like the Darkhold, she's not Wanda, she's the Scarlet Witch. It's kind of killed off her humanity. But I agree, like, I think if you're not following along with WandaVision or you didn't see that end credit, like, or even just kind of maybe logical, like, how long has it been? Because is this quick? Like,
because WandaVision doesn't tell us that the Darkhold is going to corrupt them. So while some of us like probably assumed this is not good shit that she's messing with and it's going to get into trouble, I think it's reasonable for people to not have the expectation of Wanda Maximoff is going to go real bad after this, because WandaVision doesn't tell us that the Darkhold is going to corrupt her. We don't find out about that until this movie.
I just assumed.
I've got serious thoughts on this, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's that the fault here is a lot on the audience. It's on us, because we all kind of walked out of WandaVision like, oh great, you know, she's accepted the fate with, she's let the town go, she's let go of Vision, she's come to terms with her grief, and now she's gonna go find her kids. Yay, she's on the right path. But back up there a minute.
Yeah.
She's gonna go find kids that she doesn't have from another universe with an evil book, and somehow we all just took that as like that was a happy ending for Wanda, and we didn't really stop to think about it.
Is any of that in WandaVision though? Like
in that last scene.
But that's not. Like, but you're talking about like she's gonna find another version of these kids and take them. Like that's not in WandaVision.
I think they left it up to interpretation.
I think it's pretty. This is what I mean. I think because we all wanted the happy ending for Wanda, we've kind of done what she does, and we've forced this illusion of a happy ending onto our own brains, leaving WandaVision, which I don't know if that was intentional.
Yeah, I don't think that was intentional.
I'm not trying to say that.
Gotcha. Now that I've seen this thing, and I think it works. But for that,
I don't think
if you have seen it, and I also do think it works if you haven't as well.
Yeah. I don't think it was intended to be a good ending or whatever, but I guess my point is I don't think it was as explicitly laid out to the audience that this is not a good thing as some people are acting.
No, they could have done better at the end of WandaVision if they wanted to. It depends how much they wanted to give it away.
How much changed too,
and also how much changed. And there's many theories and thoughts floating around about like what other versions of this movie we might have had, what changes were made due to like rewrites and COVID and the reshuffling of the movies. I think Tom Cruise had some say in how this movie turned out. I think he shot stuff, and
because they've said he didn't.
Really, I don't think so.
I think he shot stuff, and we know how particular Tom Cruise is about how he's portrayed and all of these like
he would not have showed up for this. No way.
Well, I think there's a part of his ego that really would have loved to have appeared in this as the version of Iron Man that was able to defeat Thanos. I think that part would have
loved to do that.
I think he would have loved that, and I think that maybe there was something in the edit to do with like how he exits the movie or something that they couldn't come to terms with.
Yeah,
because the Ultron drones are there, and we're just not going to address it. I mean, I can just believe that they would just have Ultron drones, and it doesn't necessarily have to mean that Stark is on the Illuminati. Somebody else could have made the drones, or maybe he just supplied them. Or whatever, you know, I don't mind that, but I do think there's a gap there that they didn't want to have.
I did love the idea that I saw online that there should have been a post-credit scene where Tom Cruise's Iron Man walks in, and like it's Mordo just kind of sitting there, like with his head in his hands, like everybody's fucking dead, and Tom Cruise's Iron Man walks in, and he's like, "I told you guys you shouldn't have gone for the cheap bots," like. And he's like, and he like plays this big thing where he's like, all your buddies are dead. Looks like you're gonna need some help or something. Like
he wouldn't have done a cameo.
No. You're making me want to talk about the Illuminati scene, but I don't.
Okay, so let's stay on Wanda for a minute because
Wanda.
It sounds like we're kind of all on a similar page, at least then with Wanda, where we all think this is a logical continuation. I think the only part that maybe I deviate is I think they should have done more to show that transition.
I agree. I think they were kind of just hoping that the audience would like pick up on it. Because I just assumed when I was watching it, like, well, obviously, like that end credit, like kind of, okay, she's going down a dark path. But as soon as she hears her kids, like that mother protectiveness that comes out when your kids are in danger, like I believed it right away. Because I've seen people on the internet be like, oh, all she cares about is her kids. Like, what is that? Like, that's a real thing. Like, she's Mama Bear. Like, she wants her kids. That's that and the Darkhold just kind of helping her obsess over it is what drove her to be murderous and not care and whatever.
And I do they sprinkled more than enough throughout the whole thing, and I thought they wove it into the dialogue really well for exposition of like that caught you up on everything with Wanda. The only thing that was weird was the lack of Vision or Quicksilver. Maybe I can
lack
see
of Vision. Where the fuck was he?
I didn't think Quicksilver.
I was really hoping for him.
I don't know about Quicksilver.
I didn't think the movie that we got. I didn't think that there needed to be like the cameos that we have and the story that we have. I thought it made sense for what movie that we got. I think people are just we're like we said, we're expecting this big like Far From Home kind of everyone showing up, which is what the trailers were kind of pushing. But for the story that we had, I thought everything kind of made sense. Like I didn't think Quicksilver
or Vision,
but they should have mentioned Vision. That was really
Vision
weird.
Should have been there. That
was weird.
If Doctor Strange knows about Westview, and Doctor Strange has this magic ability to find people, because remember when Doctor Strange found Tony and Pepper in a random park in New York City to get for Thanos. When she's like, you have until sundown, I'm coming to Kamar-Taj, like I'm gonna fucking take her. Doctor Strange should have been like, Wong, go to Kamar-Taj, get him ready. I gotta go find fucking Vision or Hawkeye or somebody that knows Wanda to talk her off the ledge right now.
Maybe they don't know anything about Vision. Like maybe they just all assume he's dead.
You had all those
I'm not here about Westview. Like
But they probably didn't know what was going on inside Westview. Maybe they just knew that she overtook a town, but they didn't know like there's a white Vision now, and all this stuff that was going on with that guy. And
I think it would have worked better if she didn't give them time to prepare. I think that's the only time, because that's the only time in the movie where he could have possibly gone for other Avengers, and that is when
that was their way of showing that she's like not fully like that was showing like the escalation of her, right? That's what I think that's what they were going for. I agree though. I definitely think that the Kamar-Taj sequence could have used some pop from a couple of like, B-list Avengers,
Because like the Scarlet Witch is coming. Wanda is the strongest person in this universe. If I'm Doctor Strange, I'm like, I gotta call up Bucky, I gotta call up Falcon, I gotta get everybody to Kamar-Taj.
But I feel like at that point they were just like little Wanda, just having a temper tantrum. Like I don't think he really believed that she
set up. Because they're talking about the Scarlet Witch. They're like, the Scarlet Witch is the creature of thing. I
think Wong was, but I don't think, I think Steven was still like, whatever. Like, it's just Wanda. Even when he comes back down, he's like, I did it right.
Well, Strange does say, like, he doesn't need the bug people. He just wants the world's most powerful sorcerer or whatever. So I get like
people worked pretty fucking well last time when you fucked everything up, Strange. Okay, so I don't know.
But who else is left like that would really like? It would have been cool to see them there, but they couldn't have done much. I mean, Hawkeye could have been like instructing the archers. That could have been cool.
Or just talking to her. Hey, it's me.
Or trying to talk to her.
Father figure.
Because people probably went in. Because
he's got a new daughter now.
And the way that they marketed this movie, and
that would have been so good, Sarah.
People are disappointed is because they're going into this thinking that it's going to be like a rollicking ride of like people popping up throughout the whole movie, and it's just like a couple of focus points where we get that.
That's how they marketed it. Like
they should have marketed it as the Wanda horror movie angle, because like, you didn't need to market it as this other stuff. They talked about when they was after No Way Home came out that they was thinking about trying to promote the movies like a Strange Spidey Civil War, which wouldn't have worked because we just didn't have that history with them. But with this movie, that totally would have worked. This is basically Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch Civil War. That's what this movie is. You get that one big scene with all the characters.
Do you think people would have come and seen it if they were marketing it like Wanda's the villain? Because I feel like
people.
I think a lot of Wanda fans wouldn't have come if they knew. Because a lot of people were really upset how they took Wanda.
I think that there's, I think that people would have assumed that there was going to be more of a connective tissue in how Wanda becomes a villain than there is in the movie.
That's true.
And I think people still would have showed up. And then they would have been mad after the fact because they would have been like, what the fuck? Why is she trying to kill a teenage girl 10 minutes into this movie? Like,
well, I watched both trailers again recently, and just to kind of compare, I was asking someone like, watch these trailers and I'm going to ask you what you think the movie's about.
Yeah.
And first I was like, who do you think the villain is? And they were like, oh, I think it's the evil Doctor Strange. And I'm like, nope, that's what they're marketing, but that's not who it is. And then literally in the first trailer, the lines that they're talking about is what Doctor Strange says in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So they're using his lines in Spider-Man to market it like what happened in Spider-Man is what's happened, like directly affects this movie, which is not true. It literally has nothing to do
the difference
with this movie.
The difference to me is if they had done the Doctor Strange Spider-Man Civil War angle in the marketing for No Way Home, that would have been like promoting the B plot as the A plot. Whereas
for
the marketing
Spider-Man.
for Spider-Man. Whereas this movie marketed the like D plot as the A plot. Like the stuff they marketed in this movie is really not that big. Like it's kind of like
based on the trailers, I thought America was in this for like 5 minutes. I thought she was going to show up with the squid thing, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I also didn't know anything about her or her powers.
Can we talk about America then?
Okay, let's talk about America in a second. I do just want to hit Sarah. You just wrote the better Convertage scene in my head though when you mentioned Kate, because it would have been incredible if Kate and Clint had been there, and Clint is like, yo, Wanda, what's going on, dude? And then Kate does something and Wanda's like,
oh no, I missed.
If she could be down there with the archers running around doing stuff.
And then Yelena shows up and she's
hang on. If Wanda saw Kate and was like, you replaced me. Now Vision's gone, my kids are gone, and you've replaced me. And that could have been a further like pushing her further into this kind of darkness. And I think that would have been pretty cool. I think that the last thing I'll say about Wanda is that I think the Darkhold corrupting her isn't as good as if there had been another villain pulling the strings. Because I think
that would have been lame.
I disagree. I like the Darkhold
villain at the end.
I think the Darkhold is
lame. I thought
lame.
that was what we were going to get. They say the word nightmare, like, and they keep talking about dreams.
They say Chthon. They mention him.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
So Chthon is like they mention Chthon as the creator of like
the dark
Wonder Garden and chaos magic and all that shit.
Yes.
So what I think would have worked is if instead of all this stuff being learned from the Darkhold, if there had been a Chthon who isn't the bad guy of the movie, but is supplying like the Thanos to Wanda's Loki. Like you know how Thanos is providing.
But we already had that with Loki.
And with Agatha as well kind of filled that purpose.
But Agatha's that's not at all Agatha's role in WandaVision.
That's what she was trying to be.
Kind of, but she doesn't.
She was trying to set her up, yeah.
But then if you have somebody providing Wanda with that stuff, instead of having it be a mystical item that has corrupted her and has taken away a large amount of her agency, you could have a scene where she's like, you've corrupted me, you've made me do this. And Chthon could be like, corrupted you? I didn't fucking corrupt you. You wanted to do everything that you did. I just gave you the resources to do it. And I think that would have like, instead of having this magical device that makes her evil now and is like pushing her along forcibly to be evil, to have it be her decision.
But then they would have had to have teamed up against the villain, and that
I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to do that. I think that we're at the point in the MCU where you can have Chthon do that and then have him be like, all right, well, this didn't work. PCU and Doctor Strange.
I don't want anyone else in the shadows. Like, I just like that Wanda just like got corrupted and like read this book and got corrupted. I just wish it had been
more on her and less on a magic book that made her evil.
Well, I feel like it was on her. Like, I feel like
I don't think it's enough.
She already had these needs and whatever, wanting to find her kids, and that just kind of helped her along her way.
It helped her along, but now it forces us to ask the question: how much of that was her, and how much is the Darkhold? And we'll never know the answer to that.
Yeah,
which is the frustrating part.
I see what you're saying.
But overall, I think Elizabeth Olsen does a great job. I think Wanda is very good in this movie. I think it makes sense. I think that the way they go is a way to go.
Yeah.
I think she
they
has the
could've done
best stuff to
something
do in this
gets
movie.
some really
100%.
good layers in there. She gets to do a bit of like scenery
Some of her
chewing, classic
WandaVision.
villain, but also
Yeah.
like some actual like real acting and some like
All the stuff with the
spooky, Ring horror
kids.
stuff.
So good.
The horror
So
stuff,
good.
the scene in the tunnel
so
with
good.
very
Oh.
Carrie with the blood and like she's
So
like
good.
hopping.
Very similar,
So
not too dissimilar
good.
to what we just saw Oscar Isaac doing in Moon Knight, where
Yeah.
it's such a broad range of different flexes that you're
Yeah.
seeing, and it just makes it engaging
Yeah,
throughout.
she's incredible.
Let's talk about America, because I have the least to say about America. I liked America. She was
Really?
fine. She was fine in the movie, whatever. I didn't really like.
As soon as she showed up on screen within the first 10 seconds and all
Yeah.
her first lines are I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm out.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Really?
I didn't really care much.
I did not. I like her on TikTok, but she's only 15.
I was
She just
expecting her
turned
to
16.
be fine. I thought she was going to be fine, if like slightly annoying, and I found her really engaging and
I liked
enjoying,
her.
like endearing and enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, I liked her.
I thought she showed a lot of promise. I've not seen her. I don't know her from anything else.
She's fairly new.
Yeah, she's very young.
Like I
she's
felt
16,
the
she
emotion
just
in
turned
that
16.
first scene, or not the first scene, but where you see like the flashback of the parents.
Oh, the mom. Yeah,
Yeah,
when you
that's
go down
when
We've
it
got no-
turned for me.
when you go down the
We've got no
road and
attachment
it
for this
just
character, and I was just like, "Fuck!" Like they could be anywhere. There's
no,
no
they're
way.
fucking gone.
Like
You're never
there's
gonna see
no
them again.
way. And Strange, and that even further Strange's art, because the fact that he manages to like put a good spin on it later on at the end of the movie, I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, dude, I wouldn't have like. There's no way,
Yeah,
because
no.
they are gone. I mean, he is flat out lying to her, but he manages to
Yeah.
give her the inspiration.
The
and
pep
stuff.
talk. Yeah,
So
we're never
it's
seeing
good.
those moms again.
Yeah, she
They had
turned
her-
for me at that scene. I
had
started to
her-
really like her.
Maybe they're part of a
They're gone.
plot for a Young Avengers.
Maybe, but
Maybe
they did a very good job of sectioning them off into their own little scene, so that they don't need to deal with.
Ooh.
I'd love to see where she's looking for her moms. There's a cynical part of me that is very much like they're sectioned off to the side so that they don't have to deal with the big, like, we have lesbian characters in it and they're very important. Like,
Finally, a representation, and they just got rid of them.
I think they're off to the side so they can be neat.
So the incentive for the plot of Young Avengers will be that America Chavez, after mastering her powers
Trying to find her
where we
moms.
see her at
Like
the end of
Children's
this
Crusade?
movie, she's gonna go and she's gonna try and find her parents, and in doing so, she's gonna bring a Kang back with her, who's gonna follow her back to our universe, and that's
No
gonna be the
fucking Kang in
impetus.
this.
And then so you would adapt the America Chavez story, but mix it with the Iron Lad story. So maybe she comes back and gets followed back. Maybe she gets followed back by a good Kang and a bad Kang.
Yeah.
Or something. And then that would be the impetus for that story, and then building up towards like
Do
Kang
we
Wars,
know?
Secret Wars.
Is it official that we're getting Young Avengers?
Not yet, but they're all in the fucking. They're all there.
I wasn't sure that was like greenlit officially.
No, it's not greenlit.
We've got more than the Young Avengers. We've got characters who aren't even Young Avengers that are probably going to be Young Avengers. We've got like 10 of these little fuckers running around.
They're just setting up their new Avengers when everyone else like ages out eventually.
They're smart because not only do you have Young
I
Avengers,
liked it towards the end. I do want to say something embarrassing.
Okay.
I thought America and Miss Marvel were the same character until literally 2 days ago. So I was like, oh, we'll learn more in her TV show. And then I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, nope, completely different. So
wow.
I was very confused.
We're not going to delve into that too much.
There's too many female characters.
There's too many female characters, Sarah.
Too many young, new female characters.
Too much representation gonna make you cry.
We got Kate Bishop. We got Yelena. I don't know what to do.
Sarah's like, I need more men in my superhero movies. There aren't enough of them.
Stop putting these females. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, let's talk about the Illuminati. Whatever.
What the fuck? No, I was kidding.
Whatever.
All right, so
why was it so fucking brutal? I don't want to see this man's
that, dude.
neck get snapped again.
I think everyone loves that. Even people who hate the Illuminati in the movie, they love that scene because they kill the Illuminati in the movie.
My husband's sitting next to me and he's like, I swear to God, if I have to watch this old man die again. And we did.
My question is, why did they introduce Reed Richards just to make him the stupidest person I've ever seen?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. John Krasinski not doing it for me.
I don't want him as Mr.
I was
Fantastic.
like, okay, that was fun.
I never hated the fan casting. I did not like that they used him here. Not being ironic in any sense, I would have really thought it would have been worked better with Ian Grufford.
I agree. I agree, Dean. You're right. Okay.
It would have worked. It would have popped so much more because people know who that is. Most of the people watching this movie aren't following the fucking fan cast rumors for the last 3 years.
John Krasinski.
My theater did cheer for John Krasinski. My theater cheered for Anson Mount, and I wanted to be like, you guys didn't fucking watch Inhumans. Don't lie.
Nobody did.
Mine did too. Wait.
Episode.
Mine was
you guys didn't watch that show.
I was like, who the fuck is this? Why is everyone cheering?
You guys did not watch Inhumans. You guys saw a video on YouTube that told you to cheer if Anson Mount shows up. Like,
I saw the first episode, but I knew who it was just like straight away. I was like, they got the guy. And that was great. And the fact that he got to come back and do something like fun with that character, I was pretty happy for him.
That was the worst
and
thing.
It was fine. Having them in the movie, you know.
Well, now Reed Richards so stupid. Why is he so good? What's his plan? Like,
is this the end of the Illuminati? Is this just this universe? Do you think we'll see John Krasinski again?
Well, it's weird because in this, it seems to be the case because in the comics, the Illuminati is formed of those characters, and they're all the leaders of their own respective
more or
teams.
less.
But for the most part, but in this, it seems more like they're like. More like their equivalent of the Avengers, but some of them are members from other teams. But because they say no, we're not the Avengers, we're the Illuminati.
Are they
I'm getting really mad about?
Are they the Illuminati in the comic though? Like those characters are?
Well, some of them are.
Some of them.
Oh, okay.
Some of them are.
Some of them. You traditionally you have Professor X, Doctor Strange, Reed Richards.
Iron Man is normally there.
Iron Man and
Namor,
so it's not too far off. Regular Captain America has been in the
not for long though. Usually, right?
Some versions. No, he normally disagrees with them.
He's
and
like, "What the fuck? This is terrible." Yeah, what are we doing?
Like, he's not. It doesn't make sense for him to be there. But I did think it made sense for Peggy. I could more see Peggy's Cap being in the Illuminati than Steve's Cap.
Bro, how does Peggy get taken out by the thing that she regularly catches getting thrown at her? Like, her whole thing is that she catches that shield really well.
Like I'm saying, less women, people.
It's thrown at her and it cuts her in half. Like her entire thing is she catches a frisbee really well. And somebody threw the frisbee back at her and she couldn't catch it. How many
times I wasn't ready.
I mean, I've got to assume
caught it without looking. Like,
I mean, it's kind of like a Marvel Zombies reference, right? Because in the Marvel Zombies comics, Magneto kills Cap with his own shield, and I think that's just the way to. If you're going to kill Cap, I feel like it has to be with the shield. That's just the way.
Like bind her body or something with magic, like. But her just standing there and be like, oh, well, I guess maybe I should try to catch this.
Waka waka.
The only
you can't deny the I can do this all day moment was probably one of the best.
It was pretty cool.
She does it better than he does. She done it with the blood spit.
I love her. I'm glad that she's in the movie. But I think the only death that worked for me was Xavier's. Like, I hate that.
That was savage.
I hate that.
I had to close my eyes. I was like, no.
Reed Richards, the smartest man alive, shows up, and he is like, "Hey, let me tell you Black Bolt's weakness." And then when you kill Black Bolt, I'm just gonna try to grab you instead of because everybody knows that Mr. Fantastic's real powers aren't that he can stretch really well because it's really lame. His real powers is that he's really smart and he has really, really good tech. So
they just had to show the Easter egg, though. That that's all that was.
Yeah. I have two questions.
It just turns him into spaghetti. What was his plan? What was your plan? I'm gonna grab her. She got rid of that dude's mouth. You're gonna grab her.
Classic Illuminati, though. They think they're too smart. And then they get undone by their own fucking arrogance.
It's just
that's one of my questions. Is do you think that this scene was intended to be kind of funny? Like, or do you think like their intentions to be like, here are these people that think they're so smart and now they're all going to get killed off by Wanda? Or do you think it was supposed to be like self-serious setting up or just something like we're just going to throw them in?
It was darkly ironic.
Cheeky.
I think
ironic.
Supposed to be. I think it was supposed to be funny, but also scary.
More like an Easter egg than like
Raimi, come on. That's
setting
what he
up.
does. It's funny and it's scary.
I'll tell you one thing. Krasinski and Mount weren't there when they shot that scene. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely not.
I'm telling you, man. None
of them were there. They were all in separate green
telling you
screens.
that the Tom Cruise deal, I don't know how far into that whole thing they got, but I do think that was going to be a big part of that movie. I think that fell apart and they scrambled to find fan-pleasing cameos that they could do, and that's what they came up with.
Because Captain Marvel and Captain Carter just stand there in the background while Mr. Fantastic and Black Bolt get killed, and then they fight together.
Yeah,
like they team up on Wanda, but Mr. Fantastic and Black Bolt just kind of like do their own thing. And I mean, very clearly, like John Krasinski, they could have shot that 2 weeks ago and I'd believe it because the CGI on his outfit was terrible. And so is the CGI on Black Bolt's outfit. So
the suits look cool though.
They look cool.
The designs were good.
The designs are good. I think when they have more time to work on them in their individual movies, I really hope it's not John Krasinski playing him. But
did anyone watch Invincible, that show on?
I love Invincible.
My husband leans over to me. He's like, "Is this Invincible right now?" And I'm like, "What the heck is happening?"
The way the back of Black Bolt's head like sags.
That was awful. Oh God.
Also really stupid because Black Bolt's whole thing is that he is so restrained he'll never make a sound. Like he knows what his.
He was stupid.
And he freaks the fuck out and he blows his own brains out. Like,
they definitely they played Black Bolt up for the laughs the most.
That's what I mean. I think that scene was supposed to be.
They knew that
ironic.
He's the least respected appearance in that. But I also think that it was done in. It wasn't. I don't think it was mean spirited. I think it poked fun at it in the same way that we kind of poked fun at Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man in No Way Home. It was done with. It was done with love for the history of the character.
I love it.
The one last thing I want to say, presumably about the Illuminati scene, is that it's pretty cool to see an alternate version of the Titan scene where you've got Professor X, Reed Richards, Black Bolt all stand around we dealt with Thanos and now we're going to deal with you, Strange.
Yeah, that was sad.
That's pretty badass.
I'm sorry.
A big fan.
I'm sorry. That was really cool. I really loved that. I
have something before we move on.
Yeah, okay. I'm not done either. I've got more. So yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool.
I saw a TikTok today about this guy saying his theory is that they are setting up the Illuminati with Hulk and our Captain Marvel, because Hulk is now the smartest guy, I guess, in our universe, and Captain Marvel is whatever the other one is our Captain Marvel. And since we saw both of them together at the end of Shang-Chi, kind of collecting them, people are like, oh, what if that's our new Illuminati? I just thought that was interesting.
It's interesting.
Basically.
But Hulk and Illuminati is kind of a troubled relationship.
I feel like he's not the smartest.
Yeah.
Well,
what the Illuminati do to Doctor Strange in this movie is basically what the Illuminati did to the Hulk in the comics. They're just like, we got to get this guy off. Well, not really, but they just we need to get this guy removed from the situation one way or the other.
That's
Doctor Strange is too powerful. Hulk is too powerful.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, that was it.
Even though Patrick Stewart is way too old to be playing that character.
Yeah, I think this is really it this time.
It kind of took me out of the movie, though. Do you think that was the intention? Because it was kind of like, why is this?
Maybe a little bit, but I loved it too much. I was like,
He was great in it though. You get to hear him talking about Thanos. Come on, like
when Christine 838 Christine says I work for the Baxter Foundation, I'm not fucking lying to you guys. I started to cry.
Man.
Because a couple years ago I never thought the Fantastic Four would ever have anything to do with the MCU. And the Baxter building. So that was clearly a Fantastic Four reference. And then when we actually had them all on screen, even though I really don't like the Illuminati in this movie, I seeing them on screen, seeing a member of the Inhumans, a member of the X-Men, a member of the Fantastic Four, a stand-in for the Avengers and Captain Carter, like seeing them all on screen together, like that was a really big moment for me as a big Marvel nerd, because I never thought we'd see these kinds of characters standing together on screen before. So that was cool.
And it gives me hope for the future, because I do think that we could see some version of the Illuminati become established in the MCU. I mean, we basically kind of got it like in Endgame, when you've got like Black Widow and Cap and Rhodey all kind of like just meeting up and running things. And then like we saw at the end of Shang-Chi as well. Yeah. Like we're kind of getting that, even if they don't call it that. And maybe it'd be fun for Strange at some point to be like, I need to keep an eye and make sure this doesn't get out of hand, because we got arrogant. Yeah. I also love that we talked, and I heard some people say that they don't like this about the movie, but that where Mordo says, where they have the conversation of like, well, you've been trying to kill me for years.
I hated that.
And I love the idea that they've just had this rivalry that we haven't seen. It's been going on in between the movies. Doctor Strange has continued to have adventures and battles with Baron Mordo. I think that kind of enriches the character.
The thing I hate the most about this movie is that it's not a Doctor Strange movie.
I was going to ask, we're 40 minutes in, haven't talked about Doctor Strange once.
But we got that, and we got the catharsis of his and Baron Mordo's relationship, even though we got it through
But it doesn't mean anything.
With a variant.
We don't know anything about his relationship with Baron Mordo. Like, this movie isn't interested on following up on a single plot line from the first one. What we're doing in this movie.
You hear what I just said? They did it with Mordo.
But that's the same with No Way Home, where like No Way Home wasn't interested in.
Problem there too. Yeah. But this one was a much bigger problem. Like No Way Home. I
like this one more than the first Doctor Strange, but
at least
I think.
At least in No Way Home, they do the sequel to Far From Home in the first like 20 to 30 minutes, where they're like, we're not doing a sequel to Far From Home, but here's what it would have been. Yeah. This movie is not interested in doing a sequel to the first Doctor Strange movie. This movie starts and it's like, shit happened. Don't worry about it. We're moving on.
It starts with America. It doesn't even start in our Doctor Strange. And it wraps up like Christine and her getting married in the wedding, and you see Michael Stuhlbarg for some reason.
With the watch from the first one. The first time we see him when he's waking up,
did I remember that watch?
No. It's like the scene from the first movie where he's getting ready for the gala and stuff, and then we wrap that all up at the end with the watch, with America Chavez and all of that other stuff. We wrap up the Christine stuff, and then we tie back into the Dark Dimension in the post-credit scene, which is the only good thing about that post-credit scene, which we'll get back to that.
Right. But Dean, the problem is that there's 2 hours of movie between what you're talking about, and it has nothing to do with any of that. Like
it's
why
the
is it
multiverse of madness?
Yeah, but what's mad about it? Where's the Doctor Strange stuff in it? Like, and it's also, what multiverse did we go to? We went through a 30-second slideshow of different worlds, and then we spent time on a world where red means go and green means stop. Like, and then we also went to the incursion world, which was like, that was cool. But like, for the multiverse of madness, we went to like 2 universes, and I'm not saying like I need to see the world
mad.
I don't need to see the world with the X-Men and the world with the Fantastic Four and have all these cameos. But like,
I agree. That's what they were saying. They could have peppered 1 or 2 more stops in there to kind of just bulk it up a little bit.
Yeah, to me, what I said to my friends after the movie is that this did not feel like, so if we're like doing the comic comparison, this didn't feel like a Doctor Strange comic book. it felt like a Marvel event book that Doctor Strange is one of the main characters of.
Kind of like Civil War.
I think at least Civil War follows up better on the Bucky Cap relationship and the Super Soldier stuff. I think Civil War is more steeped in Captain America mythology than this Doctor Strange movie is. If they had called this movie Marvel's Multiverse of Madness, I think that would have been like a more accurate depiction of what this movie is. It's a movie that does multiverse stuff, kind of.
It's a movie.
Kind of mad, but it's not
Doctor
really.
Strange is there sometimes.
It's like this isn't like dealing with the stuff that Doctor Strange deals with. This is just kind of the multiverse is something that everybody deals with.
He's just kind of getting dragged along by America and Wanda.
He's the perfect conduit to do this stuff, though, right? Yeah. It's like if you think about it, like a level up from Loki. Loki kind of dipped his toes and dabbled with this stuff, and now Doctor Strange is leading us like through it, and we're learning about it through his eyes. This is what I said about the exposition being worked into the adventure. I thought was just done really well throughout the whole thing.
I think Doctor Strange makes sense as the main character of a Multiverse of Madness movie. I just don't think this movie feels like a Doctor Strange. Like, I don't think we're doing super... Like, I don't think we're doing Doctor Strangey stuff. We're not dealing with weird demons and like dark magical stuff outside of like the Darkhold, but like
we had a cool music fight
out of demons.
That's the best part. That's the best part of the movie, but it's the last like 20 minutes.
It is the best part of the movie. You get a generic monster of the week action fight, and then you get a cool music battle scene.
The music battle was epic. Like,
it was so
Danny
cool.
Elfman is flexing. Between Coachella and this movie, Danny Elfman is flexing hard in 2022.
The score was great.
I loved
it. You didn't like it?
What?
I don't like that Danny Elfman doesn't like musical continuity. He was like, I'm gonna do my own thing for everything.
There was a little bit of Batman, a little bit of Spider-Man in there, a little bit of. I leaned over to my husband. I'm like, this is the Sandman score. Like, this is legit Sandman right now.
You get the Captain Carter. You get a bit of the Captain Carter music, and you get a little bit of the Doctor Strange theme, and the rest of it is just Danny Elfman going hard.
He does this,
and I loved it.
In Age of Ultron, he didn't use Silvestri's theme for the fucking Avengers. He made a new one. Fucking Injustice League, because remember,
you're listening to my
Justice League movie. He brought back the 89 Batman theme instead of using the one from the established universe. Like, musical continuity.
Oh, come on, that was clearly the studio.
I'm pretty sure he just used the old.
And they weren't allowed to use Alan Silvestri's score because Ike Perlmutter wouldn't pay for it.
Okay, well then he's got to stop getting into situations where he's fucking over other composers. Like, musical continuity.
He did Beethoven in this one.
God, that musical fight scene was so fucking cool. But there's musical continuity across the cinematic universe is one of the most important parts. The reason the scene where Captain Marvel shows up in Endgame works isn't because Captain Marvel flies through the Thanos' ship. It's because when she does it, the fucking Captain Marvel theme plays, and you're like, oh shit, yeah, like this fucking, we're tying it all together.
I never noticed that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think average people like me are gonna notice like the different themes.
Even if you don't notice it, that you notice it. I think everybody subconsciously is noticing.
Subconsciously, but I can't be like, oh, that's Captain Marvel. Oh, that's. Unless I'm just constantly listening to the scores over and over again.
It's different. I think that's not what he's going for with like the continuity. I think it's just underpinning the drama, and it's just going with the movie like at a million miles
I agree.
I
think that's how he scores. It's just
it's just hectic and powerful. And
you didn't like the ice cream song, Sean?
I didn't like the ice cream song. I thought it was whatever. It's the kids. I don't care. But like, we didn't use Wanda's theme from WandaVision, which was so good. We barely used Michael Giacchino's Doctor Strange theme. Like, I really think musical continuity is really important in this kind of stuff. And it frustrates me that the MCU doesn't.
Sometimes I agree. I thought it worked for this movie with the Raimi tone and the crazy visuals and the score. I just thought all just blended together really well, and with the fact that I'm watching this just adventure that's not getting slow, and isn't
building
like tripping.
and building.
It's building and building. It's not you're not quite sure exactly where it's going, you know, and it's not tripping over like an overly complicated plot. I just thought all the elements came together and just really
But
made
for
it
me,
enjoyable.
then it just ended. Like it's building and building and building, and then you build to this Wanda meeting Wanda, and then all of a sudden she's like, "All right, I'm destroying it," and then we never talk about her, and then it's like, "Yeah, Wanda didn't make it."
Not gone.
But it just ends. Like it just ends. And Doctor Strange walking down the street and gets an eye. Like,
I think they perfectly set up Children's Crusade, which is one of the Young Avengers storylines.
But for someone that doesn't read the comics like me, that's like, what the fuck just happened? Like,
I get that.
We're building. All of a sudden, Wanda is okay with her kids and sacrifices herself and is presumably dead. Doctor Strange gets a third eye, and Charlize Theron shows up. Like, what is going on? For like the people that don't know what's happening
we'll talk about that in a second, but I will guarantee you right now that next time we see Wanda Maximoff, she's going to be living a nice, peaceful life in a village somewhere, and it's going to be not remembering what happened, and the Young Avengers are going to come find her. Billy and Tommy will be here somehow, and they'll be like, "Mom, what are you doing?"
Those kids are so cute.
Yeah, it won't be those kids, but
they're going to do with her kind of what they did with her post House of M. Where she fucked up a load of shit in House of M in the comics, and then she like just vanished, and she wasn't seen again for a few years, and then like Sean said, she's in some little village.
I think it's in Latveria, isn't it? Isn't she hanging out with
Doom? So
this
is our House of M.
She's not hanging out with Doom. She's just living there. It's just like a simple market person or something.
Yeah,
they should have had Michael Fassbender show up. Let's be honest. Like. Get John Krasinski out. Oh no, okay. I'm the only one that feels that way. I mean, Ian McKellen, cool. Where is he at?
It would have been cool, but like
Ian Grufford, man, that really, and that Daddy was the Magneto, one time where that version of that character was going to really do something good for anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that shit.
I could just picture him delivering that same dialogue, and it just changes it completely.
Where was Daddy Magneto?
Where was Daddy Magneto? And you're absolutely right. It should have been. Although I did think it went really hard when he was like, "I understand, I have kids," and she's like, "Is their mother around?" And he's like, "Yes." And
that was such a good line.
Somebody to raise them. I was
like, that was a double gut punch of like, oh, he's got a family, he's got the kids, and then Wanda's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna fuck you up."
Emily
Blunt. That was such a weird, like, hard turn emotionally from one line to the next. That whole scene was that for me, because whilst it was, you know, it was a little bit like disjointed and out of place, and you can kind of see where they've patched it together through reshoots and everything else a little bit, but at the same time it was just such like a fun part of the journey. It was like the crazy twisty part of the roller coaster, do you know what I mean, before like the big dips and the and everything else.
That's all of Phase 4 has just been patchwork.
I really enjoyed a lot of Phase 4 so far.
Me too.
This is the one thing that I really just didn't like. And even then I enjoyed watching it.
Can someone explain the eye to me now? Why does he have a third eye? Is he evil now? What's happening?
Okay, so we'll talk about that. Well, let's talk about that now. Let's get into the end credit scene where Clea shows up, and the ending.
Well, before we do the end credit scene, can we do the very last scene where we almost get raindrops falling on my head from Spider-Man 2, where he's walking down the road, and then all of a sudden it just turns and he's screaming with the eye, and I thought that was incredible, and that was an amazing way to end the movie. But then we get to the post-credit scene, and he's fine with the eye. It's not a problem. He's got the eye. He's like
alternate take. You know, it's like it's an alternate, like it feels like an alternate ending until the eye opens at the very end of the post-credit scene. Like I legitimately was watching the movie and he's walking around without the eye and he was fine, and I was like, was that like a different universe? Like,
me too.
I was like, oh, is this an alternate? What's happening? And then the eye opens at the end, and you're like, oh, I guess time is just passed. But it's still...
How cool would it have been, by the way, if like 2/3 of the way through this movie, it got revealed to us that we wasn't following the Doctor Strange that we thought we was, and it was another dream, and he comes out of it, and then we go on, and then it takes another turn. But anyway,
and then at the end of the movie,
there.
Charlize Theron shows up as Clea, cuts a hole into the dark dimension, which I'm pretty sure is not something Clea can do, but we'll be okay with that. It's like kind of a magic thing more.
Okay.
And she's bitching at him about incursion. She just tore a fucking hole through the dark dimension.
And then that's the movie being like, in case you guys didn't know this, because you wouldn't if you watch this movie, this is what Doctor Strange is supposed to be doing in his storylines. Not and maybe we'll get that in Doctor Strange 3. I really hope Doctor Strange 3 isn't just like.
So can you explain to me what's happening?
So Clea is, I believe, the niece of Dormammu.
Yes.
Yeah, she's related to Dormammu.
She's related to Dormammu, and she's from the Dark Dimension, and she is in the comics.
His future wife.
Apprentice turned wife.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's Doctor Strange's Elektra, basically.
Yeah, because he's dead now in the comics. And she's the sort of
thing.
Yeah, we'll talk about Pizza Pop in a minute.
I just want to know what the eye. I don't understand what this eye is.
By the Darkhold. He's exactly
like power up.
Except he's a man, so he's not as evil.
It just gives him extra power.
Freaking women, am I right? Easily persuaded.
Yeah. Here's the thing with this post-credit scene: is it felt more like an introduction of Charlize Theron to the MCU than it felt like an introduction of a new character to the MCU.
Yeah, no.
It felt very much like we got Charlize Theron.
It's like Harry Styles in Eternals.
Yeah, literally.
She looks great. I love the casting. I was pleasantly surprised. I can't believe that this didn't leak. Nobody heard this rumor.
I had no idea.
Nobody had any clue that this was coming, as far as I'm aware. So I love the surprise, but I just did feel like it was just, and it felt like it should have been a fucking
so he's bad.
Press
he's
announcement.
Corrupted.
Do you know what I mean? It just felt like a tweet in the movie as a post-credit scene, like, "Hey everyone, we got Charlize Theron." There you go.
Sarah, he's doing the thing that we should have seen from Wanda instead of being told about. Is we're seeing that development with him.
Like when he used the dark hole to corrupt to go into the dark walk zombie thing, that brought a little bit into him. So why didn't Wanda have another eye?
Because she's hot. I don't know, and it would not. Elizabeth Olsen is attractive, and they don't want to put a third eye on.
Elizabeth was like, no, thank you.
No, I don't want to.
Unfortunately, Sean is probably right, but it would have been really cool if she had a third eye for the whole of this movie.
People would be like,
gradually, like she had more and more or something.
She has 4 eyes, actually. No, just like
until eventually she looks like a big tentacle eyeball monster.
Her eye just combines and it's one big eye.
Yeah, but
missed opportunity.
I'm excited for that. I really hope that Doctor Strange 3 isn't a Secret Wars prelude, because
it will be.
We need to build up to Secret Wars way more than that. And I just want to see a Doctor Strange movie where he's Doctor Strange. Not where he's becoming Doctor Strange, not where he's like dealing with something that is important for him to deal with because it's important for everybody, but it's not really his area of expertise. I want the next Strange movie to open with like, we go to this
I feel like it will.
This shitty little shop in the village where like there's a fucking demon possessing something, and Doctor Strange shows up like the priest that shows up to do the exorcism or whatever. You know,
give me an exorcism movie with Doctor.
Yeah, I want
the Exorcist with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I want him to do, and I think that's
what there's Conjuring, but it's Doctor Strange. Ooh, I'd be down.
Yeah,
instead of the Warrens, it's him and what's her face?
Come back, Scott Derrickson, you cowards.
Do it.
They might, you know. I
also thought they were going to kill off Wong. They didn't kill off Wong. I'm very happy they didn't.
Wong is the best character in this movie.
I was like, Wong's not making it out.
Really? Because he lets everyone die in Kamar-Taj, and he's like, oh, by the way, then all these spells are written down in a temple. Let me take you. Not only would I take you there, but I'm going to give you helpful back information on the history of how it was built.
But he's
Wong.
But he's Wong, dude.
He's the Sorcerer Supreme, but all he's got is a whip and a sword. Doctor Strange is flying, doing ice things and tentacles coming out of the ground, and all of this cool shit. Wong gets a sword and a whip. That's the only 2 powers he has.
At the end of this movie, Wong is still the Sorcerer Supreme. Like when they established that Doctor Strange wasn't the Sorcerer Supreme in No Way Home, I was like, oh, they're setting up an arc. He's gonna get it back in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, that's why I thought he was gonna die.
It's a Doctor Strange movie, you know? He's gonna prove himself worthy, but it's not a
Doctor Strange ends the trilogy as the Sorcerer Supreme. I think that's the right way. I think Doctor Strange wraps his trilogy.
Why can't we just see him be Doctor Strange?
Because, Sean.
Supreme? Why does it have to?
Well, we'll still get that because we'll get him as the Sorcerer Supreme in the Secret Wars prelude that comes out after Doctor Strange 3.
Hey, I'm cool with that. Just give me a Doctor Strange movie first. I don't want it to be the Secret Wars prelude. Like, don't do Civil War.
From what I know about the Secret Wars prelude, though, I really want to fucking see that comic that get adapted into a movie.
It's clearly what they're doing.
Assuming they do that, the bigger part are, we are definitely going to get that. I can't remember what it's called now, but it's the story right before Secret Wars where you got a group of mismatched.
Is it Time Runs Out?
I have no idea, but you've got like a group of like mismatched superheroes from different universes all go to a Doctor Doom planet made up of other parts of other random universes. You've Battle World where you've got the Thor Corps, you've got like Miles Morales Spider-Man and a Peter Parker Spider-Man. You've got all these different versions of characters of having to like team up, and then after that it goes into like the big like end game. We're back to normal, but everyone's got a kick ass kind of situation. So this movie made me more excited for that. It also made me like Spider-Man less. Somehow.
Really, it made me like Spider-Man more.
Me too.
It's very surprising. Because I think this movie makes much more sense as the one before No Way Home, because I think the multiverse plays a much bigger part in No Way Home somehow than it does in this one. Like, because it plays a meaningful part into the story instead of just being something.
It's more fun.
Happens.
I'll tell you what's annoying is that every version of Doctor Strange is played by Benedict Cumberbatch. Like, we could have changed that up, because we established that in No Way Home, Loki, that it's not all just the same actor, it's different things. And when he he's having the debate with evil Doctor Strange, he's like, prove to me that you're me. And he's like, we had a sister. He's like, how do you know that this version had the sister?
Yeah.
That really, there's a couple of things like that in the movie that really bothered me. Like, not everyone.
It's just not Martin Freeman as one of the Doctor
It's like, if it's going to be the Multiverse of Madness and we're only going to go to 3 different universes, at least mix up like more of the stuff in there with the actors or with the names, or try and color it in different ways. So I could have gone for a little bit more of that.
But it was really fucking cool as well when Evil Strange was like, have you ever had a dream where you've been falling? That was probably me. Like, where it, like, the idea is he's like dream walking into other Doctor Stranges and making them kill themselves, like, by falling. Like, that's at least what I took from that. Is he's saying that, like, Doctor Strange, if you're having a dream about another Doctor Strange falling to their death, it's because I made them do it. Like,
and I love the delivery of the line where he's like, I'll do what you want, but I want your Christine. He's just like, oh fuck.
Dun dun dun.
And regular Strange gets a line.
Too.
There's so many good lines in this, man. You think you can? What is it? He says, you're gonna have to do a lot more than kill me to kill me, or something. So much good stuff.
The dude at the beginning, the doctor from the last movie, who's like, my cat's blipped, and I
lost my 2 cats and my brother.
And while I was gone, my cats died, and my brother. Like, it's like, oh, and also Bruce Campbell, Pizza Papa, always gets paid. Love that.
I hated it.
I didn't mind it in the movie, but
I loved it.
But for the post-credit scene, I waited around for that. Come on, and I love
like
Bruce
the Captain
Campbell.
America in Homecoming thing.
Oh, I love that.
I'm a huge Raimi and Bruce Campbell fan. I've been following them two since I was a teenager. Like, I love that shit, all of that stuff. Bubba Hotep, Man with a Screaming Brain. I'm all about that stuff, and I just felt bummed out. I was just like, it's kind of funny, but
I feel like it would have been funnier if he was in Spider-Man. Like, I don't know. I guess it makes sense because it's Sam Raimi, but like, He should have showed up in Spider-Man because that's what we've seen him. That's what I've seen him.
Here's my pitch for the final post-credit scene of this movie. We see the crumbled tower where Wanda was. The camera pans out, and White Vision is hovering over it, looking down at the rubble. And then we're like, is he going to try and save her? And then it just goes to black. Boom.
Sarah lost her shit. Sarah's like, this is great. I want to see this instead. Sarah's so mad.
I wanted White Vision, man. I really did want White Vision.
Vision should have been in the fucking movie, dude.
He should have been at least in the post-credit scene, or hinted at in some way, like, because if you're not watching WandaVision and you're seeing this, fair enough, you can gauge that she had kids, but we're just like, where? Like, from who? Why is she like, she's just a housewife, but also she's still got the powers? Is this Wanda, like, you know, a little bit more color to that would have been nice.
Oh, yeah. I agree. I think that would have been nice. Yeah, this movie, I think that I was watching the movie and something would happen to be like, I don't like that, but then it would do like a really cool Sam Raimi transition, and I was like, I really liked that. So that's kind of why I enjoyed the movie, is like stuff would happen that I wouldn't like, but then Sam Raimi would distract me with visuals that I really liked. So that's I did enjoy that. I want to see the movie again. I think it'll go up from where it's at now. I don't think it'll be ever in my top like 15 or whatever. But
it's the best Phase 4 movie for me.
Not having a good time. I still think the best Phase 4 movie for me is is I think the best Phase 4 movie for me is still Eternals, because I really loved Eternals.
Yeah, I have this in Eternals, like, very close, like 1 and 2.
Mine would probably be, if I were to rank them, it'd probably be Eternals, No Way Home, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, and then this one is at the bottom.
Yeah, I go this, Eternals, No Way Home, Shang-Chi, Black Widow.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this one I chalk up to studio. I chalk up to stuff went bad with Scott Derrickson. They had to find a new director months before they were going to shoot. They had to write a whole new script months before they were going to shoot. They've said that there wasn't a third act when they started shooting. Like I chalk my disappointment up with this one up to just studio stuff didn't work out.
I mean, that makes sense. You can tell that the third act is all Raimi.
Yeah,
like
third act is
Bruce
so
Campbell, not Bruce. You've got I was going to say you've got Benedict Cumberbatch looking like Bruce Campbell with the zombie face, and they keep him in the zombie form for like the whole third act.
It's awesome.
I love that. He's given the emotional speech with his fucking jaw hanging off.
Yeah,
it's so good.
The effect looked great.
Yeah, it was just funny enough, but just the balance of the effects and the
it didn't
dialogue.
take me out of it ever.
Yeah,
this
one's it's so good.
I wanted to ask Sarah, where does this one rank for Phase 4 so far?
For Phase 4 specifically?
Let's do movies, not television, because that's what Dean and I said. We didn't include television on our lists. I said this was at the very bottom of my Phase 4. And Dean said that this is at the very top of his.
It's Eternals, this, Black Widow, Shang-Chi.
Okay. I'm really glad that I'm among Eternals.
No Spider-Man?
Oh, no. I'm just naming what the movies are.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't list them. I was just asking what the movies were included.
Spider-Man is also included. You better be careful where you place Eternals, Sarah.
I gotta bring... Oh, my God. Spider-Man number 1... Obviously, probably Black Widow. I love Black Widow, guys. This, Shang-Chi, and Eternals. But to be fair, besides Black Widow and Spider-Man, the other ones I've only seen once. I feel like they could all change regardless on how many times I watch them.
We're not friends anymore.
Overall, can I say overall on my Marvel list?
Yeah, go for it.
It's ranked number 10, right below Black Widow. And right above Black Panther for me.
Dean, if you were,
I feel like that could change depending on rewatching it. Either way, honestly.
Yeah, Dean, I know you don't have your list like fully like formed out or whatever, but like, do you have a general idea of where you think it would land?
Overall MCU movies,
yeah,
this probably makes it up into like it's in the top 10 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it cracks like the top 7, or 6, maybe. Iron Man. This isn't the order, but the top like 5 would be like Iron Man, Age of Ultron.
Ultron.
Yeah, I know, right?
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Even he's surprised.
Yeah.
Ant-Man is high for me.
Oh God. Sorry.
I like Ant-Man.
It's even hard to like remember them all at this point.
So many of them.
But yeah, this Thor Ragnarok is like high up on there for me. I really like Guardians 2 a lot more than most.
All the movies I hate.
This probably
way at the bottom for me.
I like Guardians 2. That's 14.
I have Guardians 1. Guardians 1 is it's not quite in my top 10. I think Guardians 1 is a masterpiece.
Me too.
I probably have Civil War actually up in the top 5. Yeah, this probably cracks like 6 or 7 at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can't wait for Thor.
Right now I have it at 27. I think it'll probably end up being as high as like 24 on a rewatch. But for now,
I think it will go down for me. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Or maybe it'll go up. I don't know.
And like, I want to reiterate, or not reiterate. I should have said this at the beginning, but I didn't. I even if I didn't really like this movie, like, I think it's weird if you don't like something to get mad if other people do like it. So like, no hate to anybody who really loved this movie. Like, I'm happy that it really worked for you. It is enough in this world.
I think it's all about expectations.
Yeah, I think it's about expectations. I had pretty low expectations for this movie, but I think it's about expectations.
And
but
what
I also
you like.
I mean, everything is subjective, and I think it's just important that like the world is messed up enough that it's not worth it to like get mad that somebody likes something that you don't, or doesn't like something that you like. Like, just
how dare you, Sean?
I just really hope they don't try and change anything with Thor based on the reactions to this. I feel like there's going to be some similarities. They haven't got a lot of time. But I will say this: if Christian Bale is as good of a villain in Thor as Elizabeth Olsen is in this movie, that's going to be a movie.
That's going to be awesome. You know what else I'll say about fucking Thor: Love and Thunder? Whatever they got going on with Taika Waititi and that crew needs to be emulated across the MCU, because I don't know fucking anything that's going to happen in that movie. I saw previs of Wanda killing Professor X over a year ago.
Really?
Like pre-CGI of him in the fucking yellow chair fighting her over a year ago. That shit.
I heard about it. I heard about it.
There was a picture of all the Illuminati going around Facebook.
Yeah, but maybe not over a year ago. Maybe like a year ago. But like a long time ago, and I didn't believe it, because I was like, they're not gonna fucking put him in the X-Men 90s yellow chair. Like, no way.
Yeah, see, I was the same. I heard about it, thought it was fake.
Yeah, but that shit was real, which means that it fucking leaked over, like, and I mean, shit leaked from Star Wars Episode 9 really early. Like, Spider-Man leaked stuff like a fucking wet, like a.
Andrew's not in the movie.
I mean, casting is one thing, because I think it's hard to keep casting under wraps. Yeah. But like when you're seeing actual images and plot details, like nobody reads these scripts. That's what they always tell us in interviews, that none of them have read the scripts. So where's all these plot leaks coming from?
Do you think people just don't care enough about Thor and whatever it is to like leak it?
That's one of my most anticipated. Because I think
I'm really
like, is it going to be is it a big story? Like, is that what we're going into. I don't know.
We're bringing back Natalie Portman. And that's
but
I don't really know.
I don't know.
Gore, I mean, we're introducing the other gods.
You can tell how excited I am for.
And then killing them.
Killing them because Gore's going to be.
I think people are going to have those kind of problems with the same. This is what I mean about the reactions to Doctor Strange. Are they going to like rush around and try and change this? Because we all know like half the characters that are going to appear in Thor are going to die. Like goodbye, Russell Crowe. I'm sorry, but of course it's happening. He's called Gore the God Butcher. They're going to want to show. They're going to want to show. Did you hear the thing about how they didn't mention they were going to mention Gore in Moon Knight but didn't? I think that was such a wasted opportunity.
All the shit they were going to put in Moon Knight but then didn't. At one point, like in the initial draft of that script, they confirmed Eternals. They confirmed Moon Knight. They confirmed there was going to be, or not Moon Knight, sorry, Black Knight.
More Moon Knight and Moon Knight.
The thing is, everything would have tied so well into this. It, like I say, the Thor stuff, the supernatural stuff.
I think the gore mention should have been in there. I'm fine that they didn't have the Eternals in there and they didn't have Black Knight in there. They said that at no point was Blade ever written into the script, but at one point they did write Dane Whitman into the script.
Jon Snow.
But I mean, I'm happy with Moon Knight. Moon Knight I've got up at number 15, below Thor Ragnarok.
I think that's where I have Moon Knight at 15 too.
So I'm pretty happy.
17.
Yeah. Whatever Marvel's doing in the future, they gotta Disney in general's got to fix their leak problem, because across Lucasfilm and fucking Marvel, like shit, it's like the Titanic over there, and just how much leaks. Like it's like you remember watching the first episode of The Mandalorian, and we had no idea that fucking Grogu was going to be in that.
Baby Yoda, baby.
Like we had no idea, and that shit was awesome. And then season 2 comes around, and every fucking cast member's leaked a year in advance.
Changed my life seeing that little baby.
Yeah, sure. But I'm just saying, Disney's got to figure out what they're doing wrong, and they got to fix it, because these leaks have got us. I think some leaks are fun, like a little bit, but way too much.
We didn't know about Clea, so.
I'm so glad that they kept that. I mean, it's not the top surprise that I would have.
Yeah.
I would have preferred to have not known about Professor X, but there we go.
Yeah, we didn't know about Clea because they shot that 2 weeks ago in Sam Raimi's backyard. You know,
Benedict's like, wait, I don't have my eye in this scene. They're like, doesn't matter. We gotta shoot this. We gotta go.
There wasn't a script in it. Did you guys see, totally off topic, did you guys see that Morbius, they mentioned Spider-Man in the post-credit scene, and then apparently edited him the mention out?
I didn't watch Morbius.
I've heard this, but I mean, it's not out. Is it out to buy? How they edited it out?
Yeah. I mean, they edit movies in theaters. They do that. They edited Endgame in theaters. They fixed.
But then, how does that credit scene play out if you don't? Is there just like a bleep? Because you have to like get rid of the whole scene.
He's just like, I'm here. Let's make a team or something. Like he doesn't mention Spider-Man. It's funny.
That's so weird. I got to check that out. And so why would that be? Why would they have to do that? Because Marvel doesn't own Spider-Man, so they didn't tell them to take it out.
Maybe they were like, Morbius sucks. We don't want to mention Spider-Man in this.
Take him out, German.
Take
his name out.
My wife's name. I would have made this movie better if they were falling through the multiverse and they fell through the Oscar ceremony.
Oh my god.
Anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Any other last thoughts on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness?
No, but just to go off your point that you just said, I want to be watching a future Marvel movie in like 10 years' time, and in the background we see Doctor Strange and America Chavez just quickly tumble through. That would be cool.
That would be very cool. Sarah?
But that's it.
Yeah.
Justice for Wanda. Bring back Wanda.
Oh, she's coming back. Oh, there's no way. Elizabeth Olsen. Hiring Elizabeth Olsen was the best thing that they did since hiring Robert Downey Jr. There's no way that we're done with her. They love her.
She's top tier Marvel. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
with
definitely.
That.
She's definitely the best, the best that they have right now. And everyone is obsessed with her and love her.
Which is why I think people are so surprised about like her not having an arc. She flip-flops the whole time. That's all she's done through these movies is flip-flopped.
Yeah. Anyway.
Can't wait for more. I don't know what's next for this show. I said on Moon Knight that I just can't keep up with the week-to-week stuff. It's too much. So I'm not doing week-to-week coverage of Miss Marvel. I don't know if somebody's going to, but I did say that I was down to be on like an episode once it was all done to talk about it overall. So that's probably the next time you'll see me is when Ms.
I
Marvel
probably won't watch. I'm going to be honest.
I'm so excited for Ms.
I
Marvel.
thought she was America this whole time. I don't know.
I can't wait for
What about Obi-Wan? We got to do something for Obi-Wan as well.
That's not Marvel.
No, but
I know,
maybe
but we should do a whole a recap of Obi-Wan when it's done.
If I can just talk about how hot Ian McGregor is the whole time, I will talk about Obi-Wan.
We don't have to wait long to talk about Obi-Wan being done because they're dropping the first 3 episodes in the first fucking week.
Yeah.
Friday is 2 episodes, and the next Wednesday is episode 3, and then it's every Wednesday after that. So we're gonna have half the series out in the first week. We won't have to wait long for it to be over.
Yay!
But yeah, we can talk about that. Maybe we'll do an Obi-Wan thing. I think it probably won't be until after it's all done, but yeah.
One and done with Obi-Wan. That's the name of the show right there.
Perfect.
Until then, Sarah, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at SCBOC, SSEABOCK. And I'm just around. I'm not really doing much right now. Kind of taking a mental break. But thanks for having me back. I want to be on, what was it? One and Done with Obi-Wan.
One and Done with Obi-Wan.
Please invite me back.
You're welcome to come talk with Dean and I about that's Obi-Wan.
It was fun. Thank you for educating me on things I didn't understand, like his eye and Clea.
You're gonna learn about him, the MCU. I do love that we've hit this point of the MCU where like even the nerds in the theater need to find a bigger nerd to explain what's happening. You know, it's like
yay! What does that mean?
All right, Dean, where can people find you?
Go and get me on tweets. Deep News 2099. Just go and get a tweet. Help yourself to a tweet, and let me know that you saw the tweet. Like it, retweet it, and then you'll have your own tweet. And that's how the internet works.
I don't understand.
Me on Twitter at Sean_AFK. I tweet about the stuff that I do in there.
See, tweet.
This show is on the Merc with the Movie Blog YouTube channel, and it works.
Not anymore.
It's Twitter on Twitter at Movie Blog Merc. Follow there. We'll see you guys next time.
Tweet.